Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros. And a lot of you know about NZXT and their awesome cases and coolers, but many of you may not know that they actually have a PC building service, NZXT Build, and we just got their newest streaming PC in.
They've revamped their streaming lineup and mini PC lineup with the H1 with all new specs, Ryzen 3000 series for some of the high-end builds. And today we think we have the Streaming Plus PC. Is it any good? Well, we're about to find out. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Patriot and their Viper V770 RGB mechanical keyboard featuring Kale Red switches, a detachable wrist rest with RGB lighting, 5 dedicated macro keys, media controls, volume mute control, USB pass-through functionality, and even dedicated lighting keys so you can customize your keyboard lighting on the fly. They also have a super easy to use software that allows you to fully edit, design, and customize your keyboard to your liking. Check the link down below to learn more, and special thanks again to Patriot for sponsoring today's video.
So there's actually 3 different variants as of now for this streaming PC. We're not even totally sure which one we got. We think we got the Plus. We'll know once we see the graphics card in it, because aside from that, the specs are pretty similar.
So what we're gonna do is open this thing up, see what it looks like, and of course test it in some games and maybe some streaming applications so you guys can decide at home if this is the right pre-built PC for your streaming needs. So let's open it with our very small knife.
So yeah, like we said, we're not totally sure which exact one we got, but we think it's the Plus, which should have a 3070. Is that correct? A 3070?
Yes, 3070.
And I just put the label on. Okay.
That's what I was laughing about. I was just...
All right, so I need to open it this way because the label's in here. It really doesn't matter though, because it's our work address, which we can publicly show now.
Yeah, there you go.
Fun fact.
PCBros.tech.
PCBros.tech is what we're talking about, this NZXT pre-built.
Yeah,
hey, NZXT's cool like that. So, I imagine we're gonna open this box and then have to open another box, and then, you know, maybe if we're lucky, there will be one more box. Let's see which case box we got.
I think it's H510.
Does the box normally look like that? Are they that plain usually? I wonder if this is like their custom. This is their overstock H510. They got it really tightly packed. So I don't think this comes with any like peripherals or anything. I think it's just the PC and probably a power cord. I imagine it probably has Wi-Fi. That's just a total guess though. Usually NZXT and most pre-built companies are really good about that because many customers want Wi-Fi. I was like, do I have the label on there? I just gotta shimmy it out.
I'm already sweaty from that office chair basketball session.
Yeah, we did have a really good office chair basketball session, and McAllister's picking out our food. So that's fun. Totally aside the point though. Because this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the H510. It looks like they sent us the matte black version. NZXT has many colors to choose from, white and black. But you know, you really don't need that many more colors when you have just such a sleek, minimalistic case like they make. So, you know, we appreciate the white and black color themes.
It should just slide right out.
I think this is the one. I think we're gonna just slide it right out. It's not too heavy, but it's definitely a little...
a little aggressive. Maybe the handles they should be popped in just to slow things down a little bit.
What would you have done if it just slid straight off the table?
Shattered and just, that's it.
All right, so yeah, it looks like it's just the PC. I'm just gonna give you guys a quick rundown of what we get in the package. We get the Wi-Fi antenna, so I was correct. It does have Wi-Fi, pretty typical. It looks like they actually include like all the extra screws. We got the 3.5mm combo jack for your headphones, because NZXT is kind of notorious for only having the single jack on top, so you gotta use that splitter. Some SATA cables, so hey, NZXT wants you to do some upgrades on this thing, you know? Because that's, back in the day, it was really, pre-built companies not like you opening their PCs, you know? They'd be like, oh, that voids your warranty, but nowadays it's a lot more acceptable. Got a power cord too.
Heck yeah.
All right, now it's time to flip it over, get the plastics off, and see which graphics card we actually got so we can figure out which PC that this really is. Watch it.
That foam just got mutilated.
That's all part of the fun, guys.
Yeah, it's all fine.
All part of the fun. Oh my gosh, it's like inside the graphics card. I'm gonna break the graphics card trying to get it out. Wouldn't that be a funny story? Ooh. Yep, we got a 3070.
Nice.
It's the For the Win 3 edition, which is pretty cool. And look at what NZXT did. This is something that I can't say for all pre-built companies. They actually ran all these ugly power supply PCIe cables down here. They could have also made it look really clean just by running it like here, you know, through the back of there, or vice versa. But a lot of pre-built companies will literally just run all these cables just straight over. And Matt and I just aren't fans. We got some clear peel right here. Let's see. Ooh, that's nice. So we should have a Ryzen 5600X, which is just the perfect streaming CPU. It looks like they did one of their NZXT Kraken coolers. I think this is like the X53 or something. It's just a 120 mil. It's nothing super crazy. It looks like we have 2 fans in the front. I don't think any of these are RGB. The logo will shine and everything. We have normal Team Group RAM, which is kind of surprising to see them use Team Group. It's DDR4 3200 megahertz, and it looks like it's 2 8 gig sticks. So hey, nice. NZXT for streaming, they know what they're doing. You know, they got to have 16, got to have 2 sticks running a dual channel. The motherboard's actually pretty respectable board. It's a B450 Aurora Pro Wi-Fi. They're not going super high end with like X570s like a lot of these companies do, making the price stupid expensive. For the power supply, we have a Seasonic.
Oh, nice.
Which is kind of surprising to see. Yeah, we have a Seasonic. I don't know the wattage. I'd have to, well, you know,
we'll take off the back.
I mean, because we always like looking there.
Like the number system
yeah,
here.
I bet
is
that
for
they have
tech support?
like a, yeah, yeah.
Look at number 1. Look at number
working.
2. Yeah.
Oh wow, they did numbers on this.
Oh,
see, I'm wondering. I'm like, did they do this because it was going to us, or
you never know?
Is
but
this just how it normally looks?
We like to think it's going to look like this.
Yeah, and even if it isn't this perfect, it's very minimalistic in the cables they used because they just did a really good job with all that. So I still can't see the power supply. I'm sure it'll say in the specs. I would assume that
I think they're like 600 or 650 watts.
I think it's hilarious.
What?
It's the USB-C.
Oh yeah.
I think that's so funny. So NZXT's cases, all their H510s, really a lot of their cases, they have USB-C on the top. Really cool, but it is very rare you actually get to use them because...
So what are they doing for the USB-C?
I don't think
or
it's
nothing.
in use. I mean, they would have had to use an adapter. So yeah, I guess you don't get a working USB-C with this, which is not bad. I mean, often when Matt and I build in these cases, we don't get them working either. But one thing we did recently purchase, which I'm gonna grab one, totally going off camera here. And maybe this could be a little note for NZXT, I don't know. But this is a USB-C to USB 3 adapter. They're kind of expensive, but really cool though, because check it out. You just put in your USB-C, and then you can stick it straight into a USB 3 adapter. This probably only has, it only has one USB.
Is there not one like
there could be one
right
under
there?
I don't know, but typically, I mean, it's a B450, so.
Yeah.
The way that they could remedy this though, because finding USB-C motherboards are really hard where they have the header, is just buying one of these, get a motherboard that has 2 USB 3s, and then they could have all working ports. But like I said, it's really not a huge deal. I mean, you have all these ports in the back. You have USB-C in the back too, by the way. Just to show you guys a real quick rundown of the ports. So it's not like you're missing USB-C. We have HDMI, which you won't be using, that's number 2. So that when you say, I have it plugged in number 2, they can go, no you don't.
Plug in number 1.
So we got 2 USB 3s, a USB 3.1, USB Type-C, 2 more USB 3s, all of the audio jacks you could ever want. We have Ethernet, and then we also have our Wi-Fi connections. For the graphics card display out, we can do 4 monitors. We have HDMI and 3 display ports, a lot of display ports. So yeah, you could have quadruple monitors with this, which most people that are streaming are not gonna do. Usually it's gonna be like 2 to 3.
Turn it on, turn it on.
You want me to turn it on?
Yeah.
Should we see if it works?
Yeah, see if it actually works.
That's always the fun part, you know, seeing if the prebuilds actually work. We had one recently that gave us some issues. Wasn't NZXT though, intent.
RGB, RGB.
Oh, I saw that fan not spinning for a second there and I was like, uh-oh.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, I will say, you know, I would have gone with RGB RAM.
Yeah, I would have.
Like, I would have just made the build cost a little bit more on RGB RAM because they did a really good job. I mean, this is customizable. You can make this be whatever color you want. You have this really cool EVGA RGB logo, but then we don't have RGB RAM. You know, I would have paid extra for that, but maybe that's an option. Who knows?
Maybe.
NZXT is pretty cool like that, and they might have some options for you. But you know what's really cool about these builds is just how they were able to do all this for a relatively decent price. So you could go a little bit cheaper for, I think it's $16.99 and get the exact same PC with a 2060 instead, or you literally pay an extra $300-400 bucks including tax and you get a 3070 instead. Way worth it. Especially just look at the size of this card. It's a 3-lane too. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a really great value though, being a little over $2,000 after tax and shipping and everything. I mean, it's a pretty good steal, but obviously the real question is, how well does it game? And from the gaming results, we're gonna kind of tell you how well to stream too. I don't think we're actually gonna test streaming because if we're being honest, it's a 5600X with a 3070. Streaming is going to be no problem on this. We just did a build not too long ago for what, 450 bucks?
It can stream.
Yeah, and it could stream. So I promise you this will stream great. It's just the real question is how many FPS can you get in Fortnite?
So let's play Fortnite. Alright guys, now that we have this NZXT Streaming PC all booted up and ready to go, let's talk about a couple benchmarks real quick. Now we decided to test this PC in a couple of titles, those being Fortnite, Call of Duty Cold War, Borderlands 3, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and then we actually did a quick little live streaming test using Fortnite, which we'll talk about later on because, well, it's a streaming focused PC, we gotta focus on streaming a little bit here. But first, in Fortnite at 1440p, all the games we tested were at 1440p, we got 350 plus FPS on Pro settings. We decided to go with the Pro settings option instead of the performance mode because performance mode is just buggy as hell. That's the best way I can put it. So for the most part, running on Pro settings, which is epic view distance, everything else on low, makes the most sense, and we got a rock solid 350 plus FPS. We had a few dips here and there, and sometimes we got up to 500, 600 FPS. So really the FPS is all over the place, but for the most part, it's a very high performing PC. When you are running on lower settings like this, you're really taking advantage of the CPU horsepower, and the Ryzen 5 5600X is pretty much one of the best gaming CPUs on the market, so I was not surprised to see such high frame rates and have such a smooth gaming experience. This would work the same in pretty much any esports title you throw at it, whether it's Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, CSGO, Valorant, any of those games. Expect really good 1440p high refresh rate or 1080p high refresh rate gaming experience. Next up, in Call of Duty Cold War, once again at 1440p on ultra settings, this time we are using the quality DLSS option. We got 150 plus FPS. You don't need to use DLSS when you're at 1440p. It's a feature mainly designed for 4K gaming, but to get a little extra performance, really you cannot complain about it, and it does look just as good as if you're playing natively at 1440p, and getting over 150 FPS in a game like Cold War is very impressive. This would translate over really well to Warzone as well. Expect very similar numbers. For the most part, Cold War is a little bit more demanding than Warzone, so if you do see numbers here, expect a little bit more frame rate when you are playing Warzone, which is a game I know a lot of you like to play. I was very impressed with the configuration of the 3070 and 5600X, mainly the 5600X. I know the 3070 is awesome, but the 5600X can handle pretty much any GPU you throw at it. I don't even think it's that outrageous to pair it with something like a 3090 or 6900 XT. Yeah, 6 cores and 12 threads is kind of limiting in multitasking, but it does work, and the fast cores really make it great for gaming with pretty much any graphics card. Next up, in Borderlands 3 on high settings using the built-in benchmark, we ended up averaging around 80 FPS. Borderlands 3 is a very intensive AAA title, especially with the built-in benchmark, so getting 80 FPS is pretty impressive. Lowering the settings a little bit would achieve a more high refresh rate gaming experience, so do keep that in mind. And the same does go for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is another AAA title. At 1440p using the built-in benchmark, we averaged 117 FPS. Overall, in terms of AAA gaming and just overall gaming in general, this PC passes the test. It is a $2,000 PC though, so you should expect to be able to play pretty much any game you throw at it at max settings, but it's a streaming PC, so can it live stream? Well, using a local recording using the new NVIC encoder and using OBS Studio playing Fortnite, well, we had no problems whatsoever. No drop frames. We streamed at 1080p using local recording options, and the quality speaks for itself. Looks pretty good. I was able to run around and achieve very similar frame rates. So overall, if you're looking to stream, this is a really good plug and play option. I know live streaming can be very complicated, having to come up with the right specs for live streaming, but I think the 3070 and 5600X works great together. The only thing that could be better is maybe a better CPU, and I know I've been hyping up the 5600X, but when you are multitasking and live streaming, the 6 cores and 12 threads might be limiting, so getting like a 5800X or 5900X would make it an absolutely perfect single PC streaming setup, and really you could do that if you want to get an upgraded model. So just do keep that in mind. That is the one thing that could hold you back if you do have a lot of plugins or you run a bunch of Chrome tabs in the background while live streaming, because in my testing I was literally just playing the game, had nothing else going, just OBS and the game, so keep that in mind. So overall, I'm very happy with this NZXT streaming PC. If you want to pick one of these bad boys up, a link in the description down below to NZXT's website. Special thanks again to them for sending this PC over for testing. I'm really happy with how it performs. How about we're going to bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.
Alright guys, so we just got done benchmarking this PC and even doing some test streams with OBS, and as you guessed, 5600X with a 3070 did absolutely amazing for streaming and gaming.
This configuration works really well together. It cools really well also, so I mean, you don't have to worry about any temperature issues with a computer like this, and overall, it comes with the warranties that NZXT offers. So if you're looking to get a PC and have peace of mind that if something goes wrong with it, you can actually get it repaired really easily, definitely consider this PC and purchase it by using the link in the description down below. below. It is not an affiliate link, it's just a link to NZXT Build, but if you want to pick this thing up, you definitely can on their website.
And lastly, we'll just say check out NZXT Build's website so you can actually see some of their other builds because they have all kinds of crazy low-end and high-end builds. So we really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already, check out our other two YouTube channels, also our twitch.tv/toastybros. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
And be sure to check out our Discord server, discord.gg/toastybros. We are a partnered tech server. Lots of cool people hang out there. We post all of the information about our future giveaways. We put tech deals in there. We have fun community events. It's the perfect place for a tech community to hang out.
Zach, where are you?